Hello, BookTube, and welcome back to the Library Tour of Doom, in which Lord Ganesha and I are testing your bookish mettle by going through my book collection one book at a time. Not just spatially, but also chronologically. We will be moving through all 4 dimensions in this Library Tour of Doom, because we will not only be looking at the books on my shelves, one by one, forever, and not only looking at my ebooks on all my various devices, we'll also be looking at all the books I have owned in the past. We will be going through my book notebooks in order to hear my opinions about books that are long since gone from my collection. But today we're going back to the 1980s when all the world made sense for a book that betokens a big BookTube event. This is Murder Inc. This is the revised, still unrepentant, perpetrated by Dilys Wynne. This is a greatly expanded volume of a book that came out years and years before. That is your nonfiction, one-purpose, all-purpose overview of the genre of murder mysteries. And the reason why that betokens an event, obviously, as you all know, is because March Mystery Madness is about to begin. In the month of March, myself and a bunch of other great co-hosts will be celebrating all things mystery for the month of March. And mysteries take on a bewildering number of forms. It can be quite a bit for a brand newcomer to take in. And a book, this is the best book for handling all of that, for getting the ground underneath you. And it's also, of course, endlessly interesting, even for a mystery fan, because this takes you through all the different kinds of mysteries, from the amateur sleuth to police procedurals to cozy mysteries to violent slasher mysteries to related genres like crime thrillers or just thrillers in general. It takes you through all of those. It gives you all sorts of sidebars. I don't know if you're going to be able to see the way this is put together, but it is so well done. Yeah, see, you've got little inserted quotes, you've got illustrations, photographs, lists, everything. This takes you through not only all those different kinds of murder mysteries, but all of their greatest writers. So in addition to being a great reference volume, this is also fantastic for getting recommendations, because the author illustrates everything. In addition to the different types of murders, there are the different kinds of gimmicks that you will find in murders. Locked room murder mysteries, where it seems like there is no way the crime could have been committed. And that authors, really clever authors, usually mathematically inclined authors, have taken a great deal of pleasure in writing locked room mysteries over the decades. This looks at all of those. It looks at all the different kinds of poisons, all the different ways of murder in murder mysteries, from the outrageous, a killer orangutan comes to mind, all the way to the prosaic stuff that you have in your house right now that you could use to murder your spouse if that thought crossed your mind. This is absolutely delightful. As you can tell from that subtitle, is written largely with a glint in the eye. It doesn't take the subject over seriously. So in terms of my library tour of doom, there have been many points in my life where I've not had a copy of this in my library, and that's a terrible shame. So I found this one years and years ago. I think I hauled it on this channel, and I have been referring to it ever since. I use it all the time, and will be referring to it quite a bit during March Mystery Madness. I plan on making a lot of videos on murder mysteries during March Mystery Madness. So that is your book today for your library tour of Doom. It is Murder Inc. I'm pretty sure this is not in print anymore, nor its companion volume, Murderous Inc. But it had its heyday. Both this and Murderous Inc. and the previous edition of this, the non-expanded version of this. So there will be used copies to find. And ordinarily, I wouldn't send you scurrying for a used copy, but if you like murder mysteries, this is a book you really should have, because you're going to love it, and you're going to go back to it a lot. So that's your library tour of Doom for today. It's entirely likely that in the month of March, the library tour of Doom will feature a great many murder mysteries. So it's entirely likely. My mind will be bent in that direction. So my wandering fingers will probably go in that direction. But we'll spice it up. For those of you who don't like murder mysteries, we'll spice it up. But in the meantime, I'm going to wrap this up, but I will be back. Thank you, BookTube.